Right, well, I've been waiting with eager anticipation for this final day, and well, I've messed this up big time. Right, first of all, I've painted hard bodies before. That one went really well, but the paint was not very good. As you can see, it sort of lost its sheen. But in the general, oh, excuse me, I had a bit of a coughing fit in the middle there. Right, I know exactly where this went wrong. It's a poor workman that blames his tools, but it's half my fault, half the paint's fault. As you can see, I can paint. I painted this. As you can see, there's like a glass finish there. I had to do very little smooth sanding to get that finish. And the paint was a great help with that. Right, now, what am I getting at? When you buy shop-bought rattle cans, spray cans from the auto store, they tend to come in two types of paint. I don't know the modern names, but basically there's like there's like acrylic based, and then there's the other one, and they paint on different. They dry differently. You need different primers and top coats and all sorts. And I know all this. Although I did get a little bit of a reaction between the orange primer coat and the top coat, because I chose to ignore the grey primer coat stage to save some money. Now, that was probably my bad decision, part one. In the first part, I should have gone with the grey primer coat, because it would have given this colour, which is, you can see it's got a different hue. I wanted the orangey, like the honey undertones that the orange primer gave. Got that, but right, now here's my problem. As you can see, I did get a fair finish on just paint only. I mean, I still planned on a clear coat to go over that, which gives you that final shine. But that, as a base layer, is a good finish. I'm happy with that. A bit of colour, a bit of wet sanding, and then clear coat, and that would be like glass. Although the paint did dissolve my filler and resin that I used to glue these. This is two different doors, because this truck only came with this bottom half of the door. The top part was missing, so I used the parts from the doors I used to make the front doors to make the back doors. So all the bits missing I glued onto that. Now it's gone through the primer stage, it's gone through the sanding stage without any breaks. A minute I sprayed this paint on it, it literally just came apart. It just unbonded. So I'm gonna finish painting. I'll just have to super glue that and hope you don't see it. Right. But the brown goes really nice. I used a lot of paint to get these door jambs done, and I got them reasonably good. But I had an inkling in that stage this paint was not going to work for me. Now I'll tell you why. Right, when you buy shop-bought rattle cans, they usually come with one of three nozzles that give different spray patterns. Now, this is a spray pattern that was given on the cans I used for that, and you just do the usual across and across, going up, zigzagging top to bottom and down, and that gives a fantastic even coat. And that was a good coverage on that paint. It covered, there's only like 2 coats of colour on that truck. I sprayed it gold, and then I sprayed the brown over the top. So there's silver, there's a grey primer, silver base coat, then the gold paint, and then masked off, and then the brown paint and the clear on the top. Right, now that turned out brilliantly. I wanted just a solid colour on this. I was going to break it and do two-tone, and I'm sort of wishing that I had now, because there's actually 2 cans of paint on there. I ran out of paint, and I still haven't done the rear end. So I'm at £8.50, which is roughly $9 a tin for this spray paint, which I thought were good paint. I'm at a loss as to where to go with this now, because I'm going to have to sand it back down to primer and start again. So I've wasted £16, best part $20 painting it. Right, now, this spray pattern and this larger spray pattern work well outside. And when I painted this, was a slight breeze. Now, these spray cans had this pattern, which if you can see here, is roughly that size. So when I sprayed across, backwards and forwards, up and down, backwards and forwards, I never managed to get an even coat. You can see where, because there was a very slight breeze, and you need to use that one indoors with no breeze, none at all. Then you can, if you're careful, you can get a nice even coat. Now, I did rush at this a little bit, which is my bad. Excuse me. Now, this is where my technique has failed. I've painted many hard bodies, and I've never had one turn out as badly as this. Even when I first started, I did better than this. Now, this here, this orange peeling, this is a reaction between the primer paint and the brown. Because I had to sand it back and re-prime it. So when I sprayed the primer onto the brown, it did that. So yeah, I am facing another $30 of paint on this. I never got to paint the metal under chassis either. So yeah, there's not going to be enough primer in that to redo it again. So I'm very disheartened with this build at the moment. What I'm going to do is, it's September. It's the back end of August. I've gone on holiday in 2 weeks. Now I wanted to get this painted before I went away, because by the time I've been on holiday and come back, I will have lost the nice weather. In the UK, in middle of September, back of September, that's when the damp, cool days start, and that's not good for painting. So I was at a bit of a timetable to rush and get this done before the weather closed in. Because even in the shed, it'll still be the same damp as it is outside. So once you've lost the dry summer air, there's no painting properly in the UK unless you've got a spray booth indoors, which I don't. This is the only place I've got to paint. Now, before we got our little poocher, I used to just paint it inside and open all the windows, and that was good. But now with the dog, I mean, she's epileptic, she's old. I don't want to what's the word? Expose her to paint fumes. So I really wanted to get this finished before I went on holiday. But right, so that leads me on to the chassis. I'm going to steal the chassis from Big Yellow. This is my current project. This is going under Big Yellow. Never mind the gearbox, because for some reason that's a T-Max gearbox, and it's set for a nitro. I need to redo the gears in that, which is neither as cheap or simple as you think. You need a one-way gear for that, and they're getting rare now. E-Maxes are not really catered for much now. Right, so this is going under Big Yellow. When it had, if you guys remember my old videos, I did some videos of Big Yellow when it was still black and purple. This is what was underneath it, and it worked brilliantly. But because I've done the solid axle build underneath it with the metal under chassis and the steel frame, it's heavy, very heavy. Now this one being all aluminium metal, the axles will be the heaviest part, and it should be a lot lighter. So yeah, I'm going to nick the running gear from that and put it under that. I need another divorced transfer case for the middle so that one will work, because there's no space for this gearbox underneath. So I need to keep the motor up front assembly that it's got currently. And so yeah, that's where I'm at. That's projects. I'm just going to modify the chassis from that, because at the front end it will just go straight into this. And yes, see, this truck is going to be a lot heavier than this. I'm not really sure why. I think it's all the truck bed that I've cut out. Adding the roof, in real cars, adding a longer roof is heavier. Like what you Americans call wagons and we call state cars are usually heavier than the hatchback or sedan. So I don't know why it's the other way around on RCs. It's the properties of plastic and the fact that I use a lot lighter metal in this back here. But without the undercarriage, the body is a lot heavier on the yellow than the brown. So that's the plan, guys. I'm missing some parts. Like I've only got one door hinge. So I can only have one door opening. So I suppose I better choose the driver's side door for that. I've just ordered some hinges off eBay, some doll's house hinges. So when they come, I'll hinge the sides and cut it in the middle, and I'll have the doors opening at the back. The battery will go in the back, the motor will go in the front. I'll have the divorce transfer case in the middle, and I'll use T-Max everything else. Drive shafts and all the malarkey will be all T-Max. Will be all... no. I'm losing my mind. Yeah, so that's going to be E-Max. That's going to be aftermarket Wraith underneath. And job done. I will come around to the paint later. Let me know, guys, what you think about the colour. Do I keep the colour and just start again later? I'm going to leave it as it is. Run it, damage it, trash it, whatever. Not intentionally, but... and then next summer I'll take the body off and repaint it. So I'm just going to leave it as it is for now. I'm not even going to bother clear coating it because there's no point putting any more paint on this thing. I may weather it, actually. I might be able to salvage it that way. I might do some like different coloured doors and stuff and make it look like it used to be a really nice truck and it's seen better days. That's actually not a bad idea. Right, maybe this might be my first attempt at a knackered weathered truck. Right, anyway, 11 minutes. So yeah, maybe I'll stick with the beta look, or maybe I'll go with the shiny show truck look. I don't know. But there's definitely no more painting going on this truck this year. What you're seeing now is how it's going to be. So I'm going to start reassembling it. See, that dull finish doesn't even matter because after a colour sand and clear coat that would have been sorted, but I've got this lovely brown camo look. Anyway, so there you go. And for some reason this door doesn't fit. That's as good as it gets, and I don't know why, unless the shell's warped somehow in the build. I'm thinking that must be it. So we're going to pretend it's had a shunt and it needs jigging. Right, there we go, peeps. I wanted to show you a finished truck in this video, and well, to an extent, bodywork wise, it is. I was gonna, if I can get right up front here to show you. This is the grill, shortened grill for that. I'm gonna modify it. I'm gonna make this a Raptor edition. I mean, there are only two Raptor editions, the F-150 and the Ranger in Europe. I don't know if you have the F1, the Ranger Raptor in America. But yeah, I'm going to make it look somewhere in between. I'm going to modify this grill, curl it in at the bottom, maybe even shorten it even more, and put a single headlight on, because I took cut one of the twin headlights in. I've got some spare ones of them lying around somewhere. And make it look more like the Ranger Raptor at the front. So there we go. That's the plan for this puppy. Now, from certain angles, that brown looks really nice, but it just didn't. You've seen sort of camo look there. Unless I get myself another tin of a darker brown, and hopefully it will sort of smooth itself out. But I'm still looking at another $20 in paint. That means it'll cost nearly $50 in total to paint this thing, and I'm like, but it's large. I mean, you don't realise just how much surface area there is there. But I mean, I've painted real cars and got a better finish than this. You know, where the front fender is larger than the table itself, I've managed to get a better finish than this. So yeah, just had an off day maybe, expensive off day. Anyway, thanks for watching, peeps. Bye.